just say it right now. The goal for this year, in addition to winning the Super Bowl, is that the 2 times the New York Jets play against the New England Patriots, we are going to hurt Mac Jones. We are going to sack him. We're going to tackle him. We're going to rub his nose in it. We're going to lead the league in sacks against New England Patriot quarterbacks, and we are going to hurt him. What did Mac Jones do wrong? Not a damn thing. But Bill Belichick has had a 2-decade dislike and hatred for our franchise. I don't know why. All we ever did was offer him a job. Nothing more, nothing less. And last night again, because he's so insecure and bitter that the New York Jets got Aaron Rodgers, he made a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers so that Pittsburgh could take the offensive lineman we wanted. That's how you want it, Bill? Good. Because you're coming in dead last in the AFC East this year. And it'll be my pleasure to pour dirt on the grave of your coaching career, starting with hurting your starting quarterback. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you?
And you know who's going to hurt him? Will McDonald. Thanks, Bill.
McDonald. That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's right. I know nothing about Will McDonald.
We know nothing about Will McDonald, but here's what we know.
He's an edge rusher. Okay, great. Kill the quarterback.
Here's what we know, all right? This is what we know. The swap of 13 to 15
Had an impact.
has changed the Jets draft.
That's right.
Okay?
No doubt about
now,
it.
I can't tell you if Broderick Jones is going to be the next superstar offensive tackle. I couldn't tell you that. But what I do know is that once the big three were gone, once the guys that they were eyeing to protect Aaron Rodgers were off the board, which was a possibility, it was going to cause them to pivot. And they did pivot. And the pivot was caused because they went from 13 to 15.
Right.
That doesn't make me regret the trade.
No, that was obviously the danger of doing the swap pick, but you got Aaron Rodgers. Who cares?
And here's also the beautiful thing about this. I don't know what Broderick Jones is going to be at the next level. Mekhi Becton was supposed to be a star. Yeah. He has failed. It could turn out to be one of those things years from now we laugh and say, can you believe that? The Jets were going to take a lineman. They ended up finding one in the 3rd round anyway. And oh, by the way, Will McDonald, who had 10 sacks this year, was only drafted by the Jets because they were caused to pivot. But that's the NFL draft. And like I said to you the other day, it's not necessarily about the individuals. It's about the positions of need. If you're a New York Giant fan, and I said this to you yesterday, wide receiver, cornerback, those were the 2 positions that probably jumped out at you. Once you saw 1, 2, 3, 4 straight wide receivers come off the board right before the Giants were slated to pick 2 picks away, Joe Shane had to pivot, and he pivoted to another position they need to get better at.
Yep.
That's the draft, baby, in a nutshell.
So listen, screw you, Bill Belichick. I don't know nothing about either of these kids. I'm not going to claim like I did. I mean, I know they have the good pedigree of having played. You played for Georgia the last couple of years. You're probably a pretty good football player, right? But I don't know. Just
we know that they.
Here's my problem with Evan. I want to get to the bottom at some point of what the heck the New York Jets ever did to Bill Belichick. All we ever did 20 years ago was offer the man a job to be a head coach. We never said anything bad about him. We didn't criticize him. We offered the man a job. Now we know how it worked out. He resigned as the HC, all that nonsense. And history books have been written in his favor, not ours. I can live with that. But 20 years later, for you to still do everything in your power to screw the knife into the back of the New York Jets, I now have a legitimate agenda.
Well,
I do, and I'm so glad because sometimes, Evan, as you know, you need an enemy.
Right.
You need a bad guy. Right? Batman's not Batman without the Joker. Right? Superman's not Superman without Lex Luthor.
Right.
You need a bad guy, man. Oh, I'm going to get such great delight this year.
So a couple of things. To answer your question about why he hates the Jets, I've come up with these conclusions over the years. Number one, he just didn't want to work for the new ownership group.
That's fine.
And
but that's not like they didn't disrespect him.
Let me finish and I'll get to it.
They weren't mean to him.
We got to
They offered the man a job.
Okay. So he decides, I don't want to work here. I want to go to New England. The Jets then fight to get compensation from New England. Remember that whole ordeal? They wanted picks from New England.
Right.
And then I think the other thing that put it over the top, and it was years later, was what Eric Mangini pulled. I think that was it. The fact that Eric Mangini tried to basically ruin his legacy by blowing the whistle on Spygate. And I know that occurred 6-7 years after he finally left the Jets, but I think when you add those things together, you've got Bill Belichick all these years later hating the logo, hating the franchise, and hating you and I. I think that's the reason. Now, as far as needing a bad guy is concerned, the New England Patriots, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the truth, bro.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots are below us.
That's right.
Okay, the Dolphins and
Evan,
the Bills are more
clear.
the bad guys than the Patriots.
No,
the Patriots are like dirt on my shoe.
New England, we're better than New England. They're coming in last place in this division, and I'm going to get great joy out of it, but I'm not going to get as much joy as I want to get unless we hurt them. And I'm not saying knock a guy out with an injury. I'm saying we want to hurt them where right in their soul. We need to make the New England Patriots, I'm sorry to you Patriot fans, no I'm not. I'm sorry to you Patriot people, no I'm not, that we need to rub it in. Like 21-3 is not enough. Right. I want Bill Belichick on the sideline of both of those games, and I want that stupid look on his face when he recognizes he just got his ass kicked like he did in the playoff game 2 years ago to the Buffalo Bills.
I wanted that last year and actually thought it was going to happen. I mean, I genuinely thought.
I'm telling you something right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting next to you this year if you're going to say that kind of crap.
What?
Oh, we're going to take their soul.
Well, I genuinely thought it.
You are not allowed to make a prediction this fall about Jets-Patriots. You can say what you want to happen.
Here's what I'll tell you. They better destroy them because now is the time for everything to change. But here's what I'm curious about. You've acknowledged, you've always been honest about this with the draft.
What?
You don't know who the guys are.
I know very few of them.
You're not getting crazy about who's taken, who's not taken.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why are you that pissed off that Bill jumped ahead of the Jets or traded back to allow another team to jump ahead of the Jets and draft an offensive lineman?
Great question, Evan. I know nothing about the offensive lineman. I know nothing about the edge rusher.
Right. You couldn't have picked out Broderick Jones if he ran you over on the street.
By the way, and neither could anybody else. So listen to all these morons on the radio telling you what they think about the picks. They don't know a damn thing about either player other than what somebody else wrote about those people, right? That's the reality of sports talk show hosts talking about the NFL draft.
You didn't watch
when it comes to linemen, okay?
You didn't watch a lot of Iowa State this year to check out Will McDonald?
I must have missed a couple of their games. Is Kirk Friend still there? That being the case, Evan, here's my problem. This Broderick Jones might be terrible. I have no idea. But I know we wanted him. And the mere fact that my guy wanted him and Bill Belichick made it so that we couldn't get the guy we wanted pisses me off. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm not taking it anymore. We are going to bury the New England Patriots in both games this year. Now, there's another little issue brewing here that has got to come to an end. All right, Evan, it's got to come to an end. There's a group of diehard fans of a particular team in this town that we do not talk about much, if at all, day in and day out on this radio station or our particular show. I don't care what other shows do, okay? I come in today and I was accosted. I don't like being accosted. I'm a very focused guy getting ready for a show. I got accosted.
What'd you get accosted about?
And I got accosted by someone who I actually like. And the person couldn't help themselves. And the accostement went like this. I blame you, Craig. Like, you blame me for what? You sent Paul Rosenberg to the Garden to watch Game 3 with your cousin, Rangers Devils. You messed up the juju.
Oh, jeez.
Then I hear Boomer Esiason, my dear friend, yelling and screaming at Sean Marash about taking out the broom after the Rangers won the first two games. I've seen the video. He's out on his back deck like at a tiki bar or something, and he's playfully brushing and brooming off, sweeping off the top of the bar, thinking the Rangers are going to sweep the Devils, right?
Right.
Then I hear somebody else saying it's actually Boomer's fault. He didn't put this goalie's jersey in the freezer,
right? Which
is something that Boomer's done for a long time. Picked the best player on the other team, put the jersey in the freezer. Hope you win, right?
He got lazy.
It's also never worked since they haven't won a cup in 30 years, but that's another story for another day.
Right.
Memo to all of you. And I don't realize at this stage of our lives, this is something I had to address, but I will.
Yeah.
You have nothing at all to do with the outcome of a game unless you're doing it the right way. There are certain acceptable seances, black magic beliefs, in you. I don't even know the other word I'm looking for.
Milk baths.
Well, that's one of them, obviously. And if you don't take the time to research and figure out what things or actions you do that does have an impact on the outcome of a game, and you merely decide to blame everybody other than the team, it's a waste of everyone's time.
Right.
Sending Paul Rosenberg to the game at the Garden for Game 3 had nothing to do with why the Rangers can't score goals. Mm-hmm. And as soon as any one of you big mouth Ranger fans in this building want to sit in the pit in front of me and allow me to do it properly and pour whole milk over your bodies and say the magical words that we said a couple years ago when you took the milk bath before a big Game 6
and
it guaranteed an Islander victory, and oh, by the way, the Islanders won.
Yes, they did.
I'd be happy to give you that bath. But blaming me for giving a kid a free ticket, or blaming Boomer for not putting the jersey in the freezer, or blaming Sean Marash for being stupid and putting sweeping the Devils off his deck.
Right.
What are we doing?
Well, it's lazy. Blame your team.
Why
Rip
don't you
your
look at the
hockey
Rangers
team
and say to the Rangers, could you not give up a goal the first 40 seconds of the game?
Because 2 games into the series, all I heard was, it's all about experience. They are much more talented than the Devils. This won't be a series, blah, 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 blah. How about you blame your roster? They haven't played well enough. How about you blame the sloppy turnovers? How about you blame the power play? How about you just acknowledge that a team that had a better year than you in the regular season has kicked your ass 3 games in? I'm trying to get comfortable last night. I'm getting my chorizo quesadillas. I wanted a drink. I had all my TVs set up. And Craig, my ass was barely on the couch. And it's 1-0 Devils.
1-0 Devils.
Right out the gate.
39 seconds in, game's over.
How about you blame the hockey team that was so good a year ago at erasing deficits in the postseason? How about you blame them for looking like a different hockey team over the last 180 minutes? And stop blaming Vincent Von Vincent or Sean Morash or even my dear friend Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, it's everybody's fault except for the players' fault. I mean, what are we doing?
Embarrassing.
What, right?
Embarrassing. Now, the question I have is there a Ranger fan, I would think Big Mac, who cares enough, is scared enough, is hopeful enough to go take that freaking milk bath? Because they're facing a night tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, and I've heard the sound before, the tenseness of the Garden. Everybody talks about how loud the Garden is. No. I talk about that tenseness that the Garden has, the groan of Madison, You're going to have that tomorrow night. So the question is, maybe it's Craig, maybe it's Big Mac, maybe it's someone else. Who's taking that milk bath to save the Rangers season?
It's not me. I'm not the Ranger guy. I mean, if you're a legitimate Ranger fan, I'll set the bath up for you within the next hour. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
I have the Black Magic book here in my office. I'm happy to recite the appropriate seance for you. I'm happy to pour the milk on your head, and I'm happy to guarantee a Game 6 win. But I'm not the Ranger fan. I'm not sitting in the pit. He's an Islander fan. He's got his own problems tonight with a Game 6 at home.
Indeed.
Big Mac is wearing a San Francisco Giants sweatshirt today, so he's not going to be the guy. Tommy doesn't give a rat's ass. And therefore, I don't know what to do for you.
There's no need.
You think the Rangers come up big and suddenly score goals, which they haven't done in 4 games?
The Rangers are winning Game 6.
Is that right? Okay,
he's Messiering it right
I'm
now.
Messiering it.
Meanwhile,
We've been in this predicament once
how about
before.
my sweatshirt today?
Yeah, you're wearing a cute, adorable dog.
How about that?
Wearing a Knicks hat and a Knicks jersey.
Because we're a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, but
the Knicks are dogs.
That dog doesn't look ferocious at all.
That's a dog. I told you I was going to have it made right away. We did this with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Give me a dog in a Nick outfit.
You know what happens
What's up, dog?
after a certain amount of time?
What?
A dog gets old. The dog isn't
healthy.
Healthy.
The dog doesn't get old. The dog's jacked.
And you know what happens when
My
a dog
dog
gets
is jacked.
old and a dog is unhealthy?
Yeah, what?
They have to be put down.
Oh, is it? Well, why are you talking about the Nets like that? Meanwhile, by the way, could you imagine? I know I'm all over the place. I apologize. Could you imagine? Maybe I'll do it later. No, they're not.
I deserve that.
Could
though.
you imagine?
Yes.
If your basketball team was actually good enough to get past the first round,
Right.
and you are now getting ready for a big Game 1, Eastern Conference semifinals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Against a team that's going to give you all you want and then some, right?
Right.
And your second best player is in Las Vegas at a strip club getting in an argument 2 nights before the series starts.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, James Harden?
Oh, my God. And by the way, my best player may not even play.
Right.
So, I'd be a little...
Oh, my Lord.
You know what word? I'd be a little perturbed.
We'll get into it more later on. The ability to be that tone deaf to yet another city that you're playing in is beyond the scope of anything rational. We got lots to do. It's a Friday. We got Prince Street Pizza Friday coming in at some point, Tommy claims. I know I haven't eaten today, so I'm pretty excited for that. We got rounds 2 and 3 of the draft. We got a big Giant fan. Is that right? Rochelle Ryan, one of our WAG Wednesday guests, is coming in today.
She'll be stopping by later in the program.
Is she bringing gifts or no?
Yeah, always.
You may.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
the gift of Rochelle Ryan.
Not the big
number
Mama
one.
Lucas. I mean, is she bringing like cookies or anything?
I don't know.
No, it's like I should just eat, assuming she's not bringing in cookies, right?
I thought we were going to have pizza. I don't know what happened to that. Were we eating pizza early today?
We were supposed to be. Yeah, well, that's on Tommy because the folks at Prince Street are the best. Anyway, we got lots cooking, a lot of baseball coming up later on today as well as the Mets avoided disaster yesterday.